Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your host, GBHL James, and it's another week's edition of Speak Friend and Question. As you can see, I'm on my own, and I'm on my own because Jamie is at a tournament down in Mansfield. They're currently on their second day, and we've not been able to meet up this week. Both been busy boys, lots going on. So I'm doing this on my own. I'm actually doing this on Sunday evening. We've got a bit of a deadline, haven't we, James? Because we need to go to Wales. Jane's working in Wales tomorrow, so I'm going to try and get through this quite quick, but I wanted to make sure that you didn't miss out on your week's Speak Friend and Question. So we're going to get straight into this, and first up we've got Jeremy Smith. He's put, "Where have you been? Don't mess with my Sundays." But I think he's referring to the fact that we didn't manage to get it up in time last Sunday, although we did do our bit. I couldn't find a cable for the camera, so I'm sorry about that, Jeremy. So he's put, "Speak, happy Halloween. Do you blokes celebrate this holiday? If so, what was your last costume?" So maybe I should bring Jane in at this point. What did we wear last night? It was the Biotic Fit Halloween do last night, and Jane's pretty good with fancy dress. And you were quicker getting ready last night for the fancy dress than you are when you normally get ready. So here we go. So this is the lovely Jane. Everybody, say hi.
Hi.
And this is Jane as the Joker, my nemesis, because I'm Batman. and I went as the Incredible Hulk. And I've got a little theme with fancy dress. It's from when I was in the army, and the mission is, you pick a superhero, but you must get into like a kid's superhero outfit. And I challenge all of you, next time you do fancy dress as a theme, as a group, to go out there and do it. So I was wearing an ages 7 to 8 Hulk costume, which was very uncomfortable. And if you're on my Facebook, you might have seen that. But if you're not, get yourself onto the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group, and if you want to see me post up a picture, just put something up and I'll put it on there. I had no idea for Jamie. So next up we've got a friend. Do you two plan on what t-shirts you wear during taping? The reason I ask this is because both of you don't wear the GBHL t-shirts at the same time. Are you sharing the same shirt? No, Jamie's got a large, mine's a medium, so it's a bit tighter. No, it's not that at all. It's just that we've got one each, and of course you want it to be clean, and I don't think we'll both wear a GBHL t-shirt until we've both got a different colour one, because I know that we're nerds and everything, but that's really nerdy, wearing the same t-shirt at the same time. So no, we don't plan on what t-shirts we're wearing. We try and wear the official t-shirts whenever we can. But okay, so your question is, can Tom Bombadil stand alone versus a Mummock? If he always wins the fight, can he be trampled, or does he stop the charge? Good job on all of the great videos. Keep it off. First day subscriber signing off. Can Tom Bombadil stand alone versus a Mummock? If he always wins a fight, can he be trampled, or does he stop the charge? He'll stop the charge, I'm guessing. There was a really interesting, I say interesting, it was quite funny, post on the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group. And it was basically a bunch of, obviously, strategy battle gamers getting together and how can you kill Tom Bombadil. And there was lots of diagrams of the very specific situation that you would need to create in order to kill Tom Bombadil, and it involved chasms and all kinds. So probably worth seeing if they've got that picture up. So thanks for your question, Jeremy Smith. Next up we've got 19 Mark F91. So hey guys, on the front of the Moria and Angmar sourcebook, there's a still shot of goblins outside the depths of Moria, on what I'm guessing is the hills and grasslands outside of the Misty Mountains. I think it looks like they're hunting the Fellowship. I've seen a few of these pictures before, so I'm guessing PJ must have filmed a scene of this and decided not to use it for the films. I just wondered if you'd heard anything about these scenes. Thanks guys, happy strategy battle gaming. Certainly not. Just looks, I don't know. Off the top of my head on the source book, yeah, it's got close-up of goblins, but I don't remember that being a deleted scene or anything from the extended versions, so no idea. I'm afraid I can't help you there. So anyway, next up we've got Ian Marley. He's put, I only thought it was an hour. Thanks, baby. Thank you. So as the Palantir team do, this is my mug. Where's this mug from? Is it Kath Kidson, this mug, Jane?
Yeah.
This is my big Kath Kidson mug, and this is where I get all of my tea in. It's huge, and I love it. It's my favourite mug. So Ian Marley's put, I only thought it was an hour, as the previous Palantir episode was an hour, and I had to watch the one after you realised you were there for a week, and I posted last week's question prior to that episode. I've got no idea what that means. You have to forgive me, I'm really tired. Of course, we had the Halloween bash yesterday. It's been a really busy week. I've still not managed to get all of the makeup off from the green face. So breaking down complicated questions today might be tough. So he's put, James, I have a limit on tournaments too, and my limit is 4, as it's difficult to take time off. Well, that's not a given to me limit. That is something which I decided that I would put on myself, because we've got a wedding next year, and I enjoy spending time with Jane, and we like going and doing things together. And, you know, I can totally see the point that it's, you know, it's a weekend a month is a lot, really, when that could be us going and doing something, you know, and these are the important things in life. So, so yeah, that's a self-imposed limit, I have to say, for next year. But anyway, Warhammer World website says that no events will happen until after May 2015, as the venue is getting all poshed up. Do you think the Hobbit Throne of Skulls might be pushed back to autumn time because of this, due to the bigger demand for Space Marines and all the other nonsense? I've got no idea. I didn't know anything about a refurb. I did actually just, I had a little message to Nick Baton, because you'll know that I'm getting married next year in June, and that my wedding's going to be around the time of what Throne of Skulls was this year. Of course, I'm going to be inviting quite a lot of guys. There was that invitation on the Facebook group to come to the church and maybe make a little bit of a social of it, and, you know, just be quite nice for some of the friends that I've made over the past year, you know, genuine friends, to come and wish as well, and just be nice to see you there in the church. And then if you want to make a weekend of it in York, you can. And I did send a message saying, listen, I'm looking to invite some of these guys. A lot of them are, you know, big members of the community, and by that I mean they're, you know, very established. They try and make it to all the events. You know, might be worthwhile doing it a different weekend. Not for me, because I'll be going on my honeymoon, but for everybody else. If it was in the autumn, that would be great, because that would definitely be one of the tournaments that I would want to go to if I head down to one next year. Just because it's, you know, a chance to meet lots of different people who maybe aren't aware of the channel and the community already. So yeah, not a clue. It would be good for me if it got pushed back. So next up, we've got Ryan Hobbit Hinch. He's put, hey guys, Jamie, your Galadriel impression last week was amazing. Hopefully she does that. Did Jamie do a Galadriel impression, or was that me? I hope you're not getting your James and Jamie's mixed up, because that is a big error on this channel. We take that very seriously. He's put, my question this week is about proxies. We don't talk about proxies on this channel, ever. Well, we've actually got a Speak Friend question, frequently asked question about proxies, so if you type that in, Speak Friend and question FAQ proxies into your YouTube, and you've got a massive long answer about how we feel about proxies. He's put, can Shagrat the War Leader model be used as his less powerful profile? Is the war gear different? You might have to cut the shield off, I think, because he's high defense because he's got the shield. I guess using a better model as a lesser model, but it's still a proxy, so I would say no, because the model's available. Just for tournaments, that is. If I was playing you friendly, then that'd be fine. But it's just because you want to cut out as many of the grey areas as you can, because it's such a huge sliding scale, as everybody always says. Also, for my Mordor army, I need a Banner, Shaman and Taskmaster. However, the Taskmaster and Shaman aren't readily available on eBay, which means buying from Games Workshop, which I have no problem with. But in the Mordor Commanders pack, you get the Banner Taskmaster, but strangely an Angmar Shaman. Can I use the Angmar Orc Shaman? I think so. I don't see why not. It's a Orc Shaman, so no, you can. Of course, you can use it if it's part of Mordor's Commander set. Then definitely. Otherwise, do I need to spend another £24 to get the Morannon Commanders set to get the normal Orc Shaman? Thanks again. Happy Strategy Battle Gaming. I would not see a problem with using that at all, especially because it's part of the Mordor Commanders set. So. Ryan Hobbit Hinch, I hope that answers your question. Make sure you ask us a question next week. So, next up we got Kieran. This is Kieran Finn. He's Kieran Street, friend of ours. Well, I say friend, you know. He tends to beat me, and at that point, you know, I pretend to be his friend, but I don't like him very much. He's put, hey guys, thought I'd mention this, but perhaps not. The reason I'm Kieran Flynn on these comments is due to an issue I had when setting up a Google Plus account. Originally, I was Kieran Street, but after an update or edit to my account, it would not accept my surname. It mentioned something about not allowing names to be associated with places. So presumably it thought Kieran Street was a location. That's well funny. Grr. In any case, Flynn is the surname from my Irish heritage and family, hence why I use this instead. My question for this week is a tactical one on the King of the Dead. I enjoyed using the 3 hunters with the Army of the Dead, but struggled to justify the 100 points to include the King himself. I may yet field him at a tourney, and I'm thinking of using him in combination with one of the other heroes so that he might actually win a fight in the game. Adding a wizard with Immobilize or Ghost Fred, the restless spirit of Alfred, would doubtless help, but such things are not themed. Is there a way to make the King of the Dead perform at the Pelennor, or am I letting the theme madness get to me as usual? P.S. 2,000 subscribers, congrats. 2,000 will not be enough to break the lines of Mordor. More will come. I certainly hope so. And you guys can help that by liking all of our videos and commenting on them, really helps. And sharing them on your Google Pluses. And if you've got local gamers, whether they're Hobbit SBG related or not, encouraging them to watch the channel and subscribe. It helps us massively. And also, you know, I know that the whole YouTube thing is, you know, you thumb up videos you like and you thumb down videos you don't like. But when you thumb down a video, it really has a massive negative impact, you know. So 1 thumbs down is the equivalent on the analytics of, like, you know, 50 thumbs up in a lot of ways. So if you don't like something, of course you can let us know and hopefully we'll be able to explain. So for example, there was quite a few dislikes for the Star Wars X-Wing, but the Star Wars X-Wing videos really help our channel in terms of sort of analytics and things, because they accumulate a lot of views over time. From a Hobbit point of view, Hobbit SBG point of view, there are a lot of people who used to play Lord of the Rings, who, when the system quietened down, went off to go and play other war games. And what we found with this channel is that we've been able to encourage people back into the hobby, and some of those people might get back in because they saw Star Wars X-Wing. And if we did a Let's Try Warhammer or Let's Try Warhammer 40k, you know, there was just a day a week. Now that doesn't mean that you're losing out on Hobbit. I know that there was a guy who was quite concerned, Hadjman, was it? He was quite concerned that he was losing out on SBG content as a result of us playing X-Wing. But we'd have played that X-Wing game anyway. So it's not so much that you're losing out on SBG content, you're gaining something else to watch, and something different. So, you know, if you can avoid thumbing down, then that would be amazing. Thank you. In terms of making the King of the Dead perform at Pelennor, I've never used him. And I know that he's quite difficult to use. It's the lack of might, isn't it? And he's quite low fight value. I think you'd have to use him in combination with another hero. You know, it would be quite tough, and like you say, you know, unless you get some might onto him using Ghost Fred, as you say, or getting the Immobilize. I mean, you could, mind you, again, that's not very themey. You know, you could use Bilbo, new Bilbo, as a cheap Immobilize, I suppose, or a form of Immobilize. King of the Dead and Bilbo together. When Bilbo goes into base contact, it halves the fight value of what he's fighting. So yeah, maybe that's worth looking into. Look forward to seeing you at the next tournament, buddy. We're driving down together, me and Kieran. So next up we've got Lewis McDonald. He's put, sorry I've not asked a question in the past couple of weeks. Poor form on my part. As long as you're back. As long as you're back in the loop, that's what matters. He's put, anyway, Jamie, do you believe you can still win the league? And then he's put, and James, do you think you could break into the top 3? Well, I will not be able to break into the top 3 this year, because even a win, because obviously I'm not at Mansfield right this second, even a win at Stirling, I can't get the points from the league final because I'm running it, so I can't break into the top 3. If I won Stirling, I need to come 3rd to get myself back to 4th place, because Alistair's bumped me out. Because unfortunately, by running these very large tournaments, it does give a massive advantage to other players. Do I think Jamie can win the league? Unless he's won today, I don't. Oh no, mind you, he would have to win Mansfield and the league final or get a really high score in the league final, because I think his third and fourth scores aren't anywhere near as strong as Damien and Ed's. And last I looked, Ed was in the lead at Mansfield, so he could. Looks like it might be between him and Damien, and it might require one of them to win all 4 tournaments to do this. So good luck to them all. It's fascinating to watch, I have to say. Next up we've got Joe White. He's put congrats on 2,000 subscribers. It won't be long until you are the most subscribed channel. Oh, well, I hope so. That would be brilliant. I mean, there are some channels that have got millions. I don't think we might get to that level. We're the most subscribed to Lord of the Rings SBG channel, and it would be good to sort of keep growing with that, of course, but then maybe become, I guess, the next step from a YouTube channel point of view, not a Hobbit SBG point of view, would be the biggest, or one of the biggest wargaming channels, maybe, or at least have an element of that. That would probably be another step. So thank you. He's put, this week's question, if you could have a single 500 points army based purely on fluff, what would it be, and roughly what would be in it? I'm guessing you mean one that I don't have, because if I could pick any, it would be my Rohan army, which is 500 points, which I've already got, which is 5 or 6 Sons of Ale, some Royal Guard. I don't think my 500 points has got a banner in it. Then a bunch of Westfold Red Shields and Outriders, and Erkenbrand and Knight of the Pelennor. That'd be mine. But to be fair, I've got a lot of the 500 points armies that I kind of like fluff and theme wise. So I've got Radagast on horse now, thanks to Shadow and Flame, and I've got Ent armies and Eagle armies, and I've got the 3 Hunters, which is a 400 point army, and I'm getting Boromir of Gondor painted up because I love him. So that's another army I like the theme of. I really like the Army of Thror, but a lot of people are doing that. Because a lot of other people are doing it, I might do mine, paint it up, and then maybe sell it on the channel or something like that, or use it as a prize. But yeah, I think I've got the 500 point fluffy armies that I want. Next up, we've got Kurt Leach. He's put congrats on passing 2,000 subscribers. Thanks for all the love, guys. This is really nice. Really nice for all these congratulations. I really appreciate it. I really do. Wouldn't be able to do it without your support. He's put, are you only able to pass a banner onto the same type of warrior? I think as long as your warrior can carry a banner, so as long as there's an option to carry a banner, I think they can carry a banner. I think if there's not an option, then they can't carry the banner. That is not an official GBHL YouTube channel answer, that's my answer. You certainly can't pass it to heroes, and you certainly can pass it to the same troops, assuming that's because the same troops are able to carry banners as war gear, so I'm guessing they could pass it to other troops that can carry banners. I'm sure that we'll get some comments below on this Speak Friend in question telling me otherwise if I'm wrong, so keep an eye out for that. Hatchman, he's put great episode, guys. Thank you very much, Hatchman. And don't worry about putting your comment and thinking that it's ruffled feathers, because it really isn't. It's really interesting to know what you guys think. But also, you know, and I guess it's one of the tough things about typing any kind of response, and it's one of the problems with the internet, is that you're not seeing the intent or the emotion, you're not seeing the facial expressions of things being written. So I was actually genuinely trying to kind of explain why, just as I'm sure you were, you know, you weren't criticising, you were just showing your disappointment. I was just trying to show why we do that and sort of explain the reasons behind that video. But thanks for the good feedback there, buddy. Next up we've got Bradley Cobden. He's put, great episode, guys. Have you seen the Desolation of Smaug extended edition? If so, what did you think of Thrain? Hashtag Thrain gone mad. I've not seen it yet. And part of that is because since the Hobbit movies have come out, we buy the DVD straight away, so you can get a ton of watching of the Hobbit. But I'm a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings extended edition trilogy box set. it's awesome. All of the extended stuff that you get in these extended editions. If I picked up the single DVDs, I will end up with 3 sets of movies, because I will want that box set. I will want the box set. So I've not seen it yet. Damien's seen it. Tom's seen it. I'm not even sure Jamie's seen it yet. So I can't comment on it, I'm afraid. Bradley as well. Bradley has sent me a message saying that he has been unable to pay for the Great British Hobbit League final, which had been hosted by me in Stockport in December. All of the event details are up on the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group if anybody's interested in coming. We're not doing the ticket sales through Element Games just because of the short notice. And to be fair, I want to, because it's the league final, I want to fund some of the prizes, make sure they're a little bit different than the Element Games vouchers that we got in the past, just through the ticket sales. And not doing it through Element Games allows us to do that a bit more, because they're not taking a cut. But that means that you need to do it through PayPal. And tickets are on sale, and it's ilovewargaming@gmail.com. If anybody else is having problems with PayPal, then let me know. So next up we've got Blitzwing. He's put, "Hey guys, are there any Lord of the Rings minis you wish you had but can't get anymore? I stumbled onto some Candish Horsemen in a local gaming store on sale, so I snapped them up. I'm going to start a warband called Keeping Up with the Kardashians." Very clever. I see what you did there, Blitz. That I wish I had but you can't get anymore. That's tough, because there are lots of... I've got a lot of the stuff that I want. I know that's mad to think at this point, but I really, really do have a lot of the stuff that I want. A lot of the poses, a lot of the... Sometimes I feel like I'm lacking certain minis, because I've sent a lot of them off to Shadow and Flame, so like, I've got to remember that I've got those minis and that Shadow's got them, just to paint up whenever he gets time, really. I think I would like the Aemma from the Defenders of Rohan. I know he's quite a static pose, but the one without the helmet, because I think he makes a good Knight of the Pelennor foot model. So although it's not an action pose, I think I might like him. So I hope that answers your question. Next up we've got Dave Egan. He's put, which would you rather have to fight? A polar bear, a Siberian tiger, a male silverback gorilla, a saltwater crocodile, or a Deinonychus? Deinonychus. Isn't that a velociraptor? I think so. I'm sure isn't that the one that's rumoured to have had feathers? I don't know. So all of the above are full-grown adults and you have no weapons of any kind, just your bare hands, feet and head. Well, I'm going to rule out a couple straight away. A polar bear I would definitely not like to fight because of the way that it moves, the weight of it, the power of it. And polar bears are one of only 2 creatures in the world, I think, that actually hunt human beings as a form of prey. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there with that, but I'm pretty sure that polar bears are one of the only creatures that do that. I would not like to have a fight with a polar bear. For similar-ish reasons, a male silverback gorilla I don't think would be a good call, because again, it can move like you can move, except better, and the power of it you would lose in a terrible way. A Siberian tiger, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. So, and a velociraptor, well, I've got absolutely no idea, because obviously it doesn't exist. So, you know, we don't know how they would behave or what weaknesses they might actually have. So I would say, out of all of them, I would probably rather fight a saltwater crocodile. Probably. It strikes me that there are more ways of dealing with that than a polar bear, a Siberian tiger, a male silverback gorilla, or a velociraptor. So I'm going for saltwater crocodile. If I had to fight with my bare hands, I wonder what you guys think. Let us know. Next up, we've got George Harold. He's put, maybe this is a little premature, but could you do a Christmas special video in a few months' time with all 4 hosts, where you basically cover all of the tournaments and news for 2014 and share your hopes and expectations for 2015? I think it's not a bad idea, like a review. It's tough to get us all together because, of course, GBHL Damien and GBHL Tom live down south, and me and Jamie live up here. But they are coming to stay for the league final. I have invited them over, so we might be able to do something there. I think a Christmas special would be good. We also need to do a sort of celebrate 1 year of me and Jamie being together. Because I've now been involved in the channel for a year, so it's kind of like our anniversary. It's been an amazing year. 2,000 subscribers. We want 20,000 by this time next year. Only you guys can help us do that. Keep liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. It really is important. Next up, Jason Matthews. He's put, "Hi guys, I haven't asked a question in a while. My question is, could Radagast use Panic Steed against the Great Beast of Gorgoroth? Seemed a bit unfair when I did this in a friendly game, but there was nothing to suggest I couldn't. Thanks and keep up the good work." No, he can't, I don't believe. Because you can't do it against a Mummock. And the Great Beast of Gorgoroth is like a mini Mummock. And I'm pretty sure you can't. Hasn't it been FAQ'd? I'm sure it's been FAQ'd. Check out the FAQs, and if not, check out the community FAQ. And if you can't find the answer, then the best place to ask that is, again, on the Great British Hobbit League YouTube, not YouTube channel, sorry, the Great British Hobbit League Facebook page. Because obviously you've got a bunch of people on there who know the rules really well and deal with the community FAQ. So next up we've got William McAllister. Will McAllister. He's put, "Hey guys, so as I mentioned the other week, I'm back in the hobby after a long time out. Me and my brother played a few games with the Return of the King rule set. Oh, that's cool. I'm really glad to be back playing. But where do we get the new rules for warbands and victory points, etc., so we can be up to date? Is this in the new Hobbit rules book? If so, is there a small version available so as not to have to buy the big book? Strapped for cash is all. Secondly, are the army lists listed in Legion and Middle-earth now outdated and invalid? Cheers guys. Love the channel." Yes, Legions of Middle-earth army building is now outdated and invalid. The rules for warbands and scenarios, etc., are found in the source books. So the source books are Kingdoms of Men, which contains Gondor, Arnor, Rohan, fiefdoms. You've also got the Free Peoples, which is like the elves and the dwarves and the Fellowship, Wanderers in the Wild and such like. And there's Fallen Realms, which is Harad and Umbar and Isengard and the Easterlings. You've also got Mordor, which has got a source book to itself, and Moria and Angmar as well. So these are the source books, and some of them are still available, some of them are no longer available. And if I was going to recommend that you pick anything up right now, that anybody who's watching this, if you do not have all the source books or the source books that you want, you need to buy them now. Don't try and get them off the internet via eBay, etc. You just need to buy them, because it's going to be very important when they disappear that you've got them. And that'll explain to you how to build your armies, and it will also have the scenarios in. Now, with regards to the new Hobbit rules, the big rule book obviously is sort of 50 odd quid. I would recommend that you go to a local gaming store to try and get a good discount. And I believe that at the moment, although it does help us a little bit if you go to Element Games, and you just select that you went through that you came through the Great British Hobbit League YouTube channel. Hello? If you sorry, I didn't know what that was. If you select that you came through the Great British Hobbit League YouTube channel. Hello? Is that you, Jane?
Hello.
Oh, right. Have you been out?
No.
Oh, right, sorry. Sorry about that. You've got your goodies. So yeah, if you want to get the rules, if you don't want to get the big rules, you can get the little rule book. Keep an eye out for it on eBay, because a lot of people have bought the Escape from Goblin Town set, which is where you get the little handy rule book. So you might be able to pick that up. It tends to go for anywhere between sort of £5 and £20, to be honest. Alternatively, you and your mate could split getting the Escape from Goblin Town set. It is worth it if you get it from a local gaming store. And you should be, even if you don't want the pieces inside, you can always sell those off on eBay reasonably easily. So, and you'll make your money back by selling it off separately. So I hope that helps. Will McAllister, make sure you ask a question next week. Okie doke. Next up we've got Aidan Glover. He's put, alright guys, James, if the Grimbold of Grimslade model existed on Horsebook, would you consider forming a warband with him as the leader, with a group of riders upgraded to Helmingus, strength 4? Therefore, potentially dropping Erkenbrand's warband or the Red Shields, or are the Red Shields too valuable with their strength 4 value? Or you could even drop Eomer. And he's put, and I have a combined force of some riders with fight 4 and some with strength 4. If this was a possibility, what would you do? Also, have you got any idea why Grimbold isn't available on horseback? He was present at the Battle of Pelennor. Thanks, guys. Okay, so first off, you cannot upgrade riders of Rohan to strength 4 Helmingus with Grimbold's upgrade option. So if you're upgrading your cavalry at the moment, you can't do that. The upgrade to Helmingus is for foot troops, so Helmingus have to be infantry. That being said, if he was a model on horseback who upgraded riders to be strength 4 for a point, then I would consider him. If he existed on horseback, and the upgrade was still for infantry, I wouldn't take him because he's just a captain. He's not. The only way that you could make him worth it on horseback is if he's two-handed, if he was burly two-handed. So meaning that he didn't get a -1 to use two-handed whilst on a horse, being strength 4, because he's only fight 4, you see, and that would make him like a mini Thryden, and then he might be worth it. I mean, a lot of people used to say that Grimbold was like a go-to character, but I think with the emergence of the special strikes and being able to use axes to increase your strength, which is free, I think it's unnecessary. No, Eomer's too valuable. I mean, I play a good game with Eomer Knight of the Pelennor, and he's quite key in the way that I work it in terms of heroic combats and maximising your first charge and all that kind of thing. And he's a beefy hero. Whereas Grimbold and Erkenbrand, they're too fragile, and too many of the scenarios rely on leader kills, etc. So anyway, I hope that helps. Gives you a bit of an answer there. Next up, we've got Stephen Gill. He's put one multi-part question for special strikes. When would you use one? Which ones are useful? Which ones are not so? Okie dokie. So, I start with feinting. Feinting. If you've got a sword or a dagger and you're a lower fight value, you'll always feint. If you've got a sword and you're being supported by a spear of a model with the same or higher fight value, then you might as well feint. Exactly the same if you are like you're trapping a model, you're surrounding it, or you've got multiple models on there. You might as well feint with all but one if you're matching fight values, etc. So as long as I would never use it unless you are retaining the fight value overall, because fight value is important. So that's with feinting. So you always use it if you're lower fight value, or if you're able to get higher fight value or same fight value in on the same fight via spear support or multiple models in combat. Axes. Axes, of course, there is a risk in there, which is that your defense goes down. So I would always use axes. Well, use axes if you're lower defense. Work out where the die. Are they going to be more likely? How much more likely are they going to be to kill you if you lose the combat? So it's quite good to use if you're sort of high fight value. If there's loads of you in the combat and you're quite confident of winning the combat, I would use an axe. Or you should always use an axe if your opponent shields, or if they're knocked on the ground because there's no penalty effectively, or if they strike against courage, you should always use an axe. Bash, from experience, isn't worth it. That's just from my own experience. Whirl could be very useful for low fight value models, sort of chucking them in, letting them get sort of surrounded, because that one strike on each could be pretty good. And then is there stun as well with the staff? I guess if you're trying not to kill a model, if you're trying to sort of keep the game going, and they're trying to die to win because they've got the objective, then that might be when you use that. But that's my quick evaluation. If you go back through the old videos, we've got whole videos about the different special strikes and special strikes. If you look in our backlog, and I know there's a lot of videos, like 50 odd videos, if you look in our backlog, some of the early videos go into detail about special strikes. So I hope that helps, pal. So next up we've got Ryan McGinn. He's put, hey guys, thank you for answering my question. Now that I'm in the loop, here's another. Well done. That's exactly what you need to do. He's put, when assembling an Isengard demolition team, would you glue the bomb to a 25mm base? Keep up the great work, guys. You can do. I don't think you have to. I think that you. I don't think you have to glue it. You always see loads of them loose. You can just use it like that. So no, you don't have to. Hope that helps. Make sure you ask a question next week. Now you're in the loop. Next up, we've got Jake and Deacon. He's put, hey guys, well done on 2,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, buddy. You're 20% of the way to amassing a force to destroy the world of men. Pretty scary stuff. Or to defend the world of men. Technically, we are a third of the way through to getting together the muster of Rohan, which was 6,000 riders. So that's where I am. So pretty scary stuff. My question for the week is more of a request. I loved one of your earlier battle reports where you both played against Steve on what I think was a Kirith Ungol board. I reckon it would be a great idea to play a similar scenario on it again with different forces or objectives, etc. It was unlike any other I've seen and feel that many others would like to see a rematch. Have a nice day. I don't think we'll be doing a three-way game like that again because that was tough, with you all being different things, and it was quite clumsy. I'm surprised we didn't use it in battle companies, actually. I'm surprised it didn't get written in there. But terrain pieces like that, they're quite tough to use from a filming point of view as well as a gaming point of view. But it is downstairs and it's not being used, so I'm sure we'll use it at some point, just like we will use the Metacelled at some point, and we can find a way of getting it in. So I hope that helps, Jacob. Next up we've got Rushek. He's put, hey guys, my question this week is, how do you feel about sieges? I know they tend to take up a great deal of time, however, as James is a fan of Rohan, I was curious if you guys have done the Helm's Deep scenario or any of the sieges at all, really. Also, congrats to Baloin for his great victory over the Goblins. I know, Dubakar, come on Baloin, what a legend. Slaying Giblin in single combat and then chasing Nilbig off the board with his stupid double special rules. That's how Baloin rolls. Last man standing. I would love to do Helm's Deep. I've never played a siege before, so I've got no real opinion to it. I like the game without the sieges, but I would like to try one, and I would certainly like to try Helm's Deep, so maybe you'll see that on the channel in the future. Next up we've got Larry Miller. He's put, thanks for the mention, favourite armies question for you guys. Thanks for the mention, favourite armies question for you guys. Oh yeah, about your Khazad, yeah, that's nice. But yeah, there have been a lot of awesome armies around this year, definitely. Any chance we will see the Great Giblin's Horde or Baloin's Dwarf again in the future? Even just for some brief cameo in a future Battle Company series. Yes, you will almost certainly see Nilbig and Baloin again. They were the only two survivors. So I'm sure that they will crop up in future Battle Companies or even other games, maybe. Okay, next up we've got Scott Johnson. Just read your first line. Jamie sent us a message saying he felt like he was a celebrity because he got recognised. But Scott Johnson, after the pleasure and excitement of unexpectedly meeting GBHL Jamie at the Lego Discovery Centre on Sunday, I thought only fair I got into the loop. Good man. So to make up for lost time, I will ask two questions. Firstly, as fairly new to the hobby, about 1 year, well, around the same as me, I suppose, I've recently found my number of models increasing beyond the Escape from Goblin Town set, so I need to sort out some proper storage display. What do you guys use for storage and any recommendations for this area? Secondly, will you be seeing the Battle of 5 armies in 2Ds or 3Ds? Which is your preference? Great channel, keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much, Scott, and now that you are in the loop, make sure if I answer your question that you ask another one next week. Okay, so first up, storage and display. Models of mine aren't quite complete or that have been done by Shadow and Flame or I'm particularly chuffed about go on the bookcase, which is just over there. You know, or if I'm needing to paint them, just so that I know what's in the queue. And then downstairs in the cellar's not completely done yet, but I'm hoping now that I've sorted out sort of 2 days off a week, I'll be able to get that done soon. We've got like a glass shelving unit thing, which has got all of my stuff on it, which we got from IKEA. So that's where I store that stuff. So IKEA is a good place to go for that. And in terms of Battle of Five Armies, I'll probably sit in both, but I'm not a massive fan of 3D. It gives me a bit of a headache, so so I definitely prefer 2D. So thanks very much for that, Scott, and welcome to the channel. And well done for making GBHL Jamie feel really good about himself. He was like someone just recognised me in work the other day from the channel. I was like, that's what happens to me all the time. What can you do? Next up, we've got Camille Demansky. He's put, hi guys, probably I'm late with this, but it's worth a try. So I was thinking to attend a Your League finale. Yeah, and I asked my daughter if she's okay with this. She said, if you do something special, she'll let me go. I don't know what she means by that, but good luck. Have fun in Mansfield. You'll never walk alone. Well done against Newcastle yesterday, although I've just watched Manchester United versus Manchester City and we lost 1-0. But good performance, we're down to 10 men for most of the game. So probably I'm late with it, worth a try. So I was thinking to attend at Your League finale, and I asked my daughter if she's okay with this. She said if you do something special, she'll let me go. Okay, so if we do a special video for your daughter, she'll let you come to Stockport. I'll get on it with Jamie. I'm thinking something Disney princess orientated, involving unicorns and fairies. We're on it. Leave it to us, Camille. And make sure you get to that league finale. There's also Stirling. I know Mansfield has happened. So there's two more tournaments for the Great British Hobbit League. You've got Stirling, which is run by David Reed and Stirling Wargamers, which is my last one for the year to attend, and then obviously the one I'm running, which is the league final in Stockport. So if anybody wants to come down and get involved in that, make sure you do. There are tickets still available for Stirling. Check out the Facebook group for all of that. And then, of course, there are tickets for the league final. And I've written 7 custom scenarios for it, which hopefully I'll play out on the channel soon, because I think that's important, so that everybody's got a good idea in the run-up to it and gets all excited about it. And also so that people have got some different scenarios, and if you like them, you can use them in the future. So yeah, get on it, guys. I hope to see lots of you there in the last 2 Great British Hobbit League events this year. Okay, next up, we've got I am JRod13. He's put, hey guys, greetings from Australia. Just getting back into the hobby after a few years, and I'm currently working on building up a force of Gondor. I have a few questions in relation to this topic, and maybe one which isn't so related. Cheeky. Who would you recommend for my force leader between Boromir, Captain of the White Tower, and Aragorn, King of Lesser? I'm not going to deny that Boromir is an absolute beast, and when I fielded him in the past, he's performed well the majority of the time. However, I'm not going to deny my love for Aragorn. I greatly enjoyed his character both in the books and films, plus Anduril makes him a killing machine. Okay, well, either or. I mean, it depends what points value you're playing, really. But they're both expensive. Boromir can be a bit more of a buff to troops, and he can be fight 7 if you give him the banner. He's fight 7 and he makes other things around him +1 fight, which is really good. And it's a banner, so he's effectively got 4 attacks plus the 6 might. I'd probably go for Boromir, but I've not got any experience really of Aragorn, King of Lesser. So yeah, he's got 4. He's got the Horn of Gondor and 4 attacks effectively. I'd probably go for Boromir, I think. Now, for the question which is slightly unrelated, in your professional opinion, if I was to take an Aragorn, which version should I take, Strider or King, in which situations, war gear, etc.? Thanks so much for reading this. Keep up the good work in producing this top-notch content. You're fueling my enthusiasm with the hobby once more. Cheers, Jared. Absolute pleasure. I'm glad that you're enjoying the videos. What do you mean by our professional opinion? I don't understand. If I were to take an Aragorn, which version should I take? Do you mean from like the tournament point of view? Well, if you're taking Aragorn Isildur's heir or Aragorn Strider, then you probably need to take Aragorn Strider model. If you're taking Aragorn King of Lesser, with the heavy armour and all that kind of stuff, then you probably need to take him. That's what I would probably say, because those are the models for them, and they are available. Now, there are some comments which are hidden as spam. Let's see. Oh, there's 2 here. This is the last 2 questions. So first up, we've got Timothy Meyer. I don't know why you're coming up as spam. I think it's because you put a massive link in your comment, Timothy. He's put, hey guys, I didn't get this up in time last week, so I'm going to ask it again. There's an interesting online petition to Games Workshop urging them to become more game-orientated rather than collector-orientated business going around on the GBHL Facebook page right now. I was just wondering if you guys had seen it and what your thoughts were on it. We answered this. You haven't watched the Speak Friend in question. We answered it because Jamie, I had no idea about it, and Jamie told me what it was. So we have answered it. You did get it in on time because we did it late last week. And finally, we've got who else but Howdy. I've not heard from you for a while. I hope you're okay. He's put, I left the loop once. It was awful. Let that be a lesson to anybody. Make sure you ask questions every week, guys. He's put, anyway, a couple of quick questions. After my hiatus from commenting, he's put, what do you guys think is the best Rohan hero to lead infantry? Also, what do you guys think of Theodred and Hammer in their profiles? Okay, so best Rohan hero to lead infantry. In my 600 point Rohan force where I use infantry, I have Eowyn. It's always better to have your heroes mounted whenever you can. And the way that I see it is, I would not go do Rohan without first Erkenbrand, Eomer, Knight of Pelennor, and then Eowyn. And then after that, it becomes Eol the Young, then Eomer, Marshal of the Riddermark, then your Theoden, Theodred, and those guys, Hammer and Gamling and all of that, their fight value is too low. You need the fight 5 for Rohan. You need it, especially against other fight 4 armies. You've got to get as much as you can up to fight 4, and then your fight 5 heroes can really be the difference. You know, so the best example of that was I played against Murtaugh, James Baldwin, at 1,000 points in Mansfield this year, and we played Reconnoiter, and he had loads of crossbows, loads of ferals and berserkers, and the Rohan heroes being fight 5, getting in with Sons of Ale and heroic combating through and adding their fight 5 against the fight 4 Uruks was the reason why I smashed through his army. So that's what I would say. So hopefully a quick Speak Friend question, because I've got to go and get ready. I've got to go and try and get some of this green makeup out of my eyebrows and my stubble on my tash as well, because I can't get it off. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this and you got a bit of painting done during it, because that's what it's all about. And make sure, as always, that you comment, like, share and subscribe. If you've got a question, you need to ask it in the comment section below, preferably before Thursday, because that tends to be when me and Jamie try to get together sometimes and do this. Well, it's been a bit tougher lately, but that should all settle down soon. So guys, comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit hobby and follow us on Twitter at I Love Wargaming, and happy strategy battle gaming, guys.